No, nope, nope, no Reza, but lots of interesting other news right here, right now. This video is dedicated to Ralf Schumacher, who came out as gay this week, which is none of our nor your business. But living your life the way you feel best, loving whoever you want, and being okay and at peace with yourself is something we all should strive to. Love who you want, live how you want, and be kind to each other. Greetings, Romy, you're watching Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. Hey, we are still waiting for Reza to say something, anything at all, but they're only 2 weeks late. For Reza, that's still being punctual. Using the emptiness, here comes straight for Glumping, bringing some drops of information amidst an ocean of marketing bull and motorsport games trying a not so subtle stab at raking in money by the bushel. This and more in this week's news. Motorsport Games just this week published the announcement of the first of their DLCs for Le Mans Ultimate, as well as their Season Pass, including dates and prices. The sim is still in early access, by the way. Both DLC and Season Pass will come out next week on the 23rd. The following DLC is planned for late September of this year. They disclosed the year. The Season Pass will encompass only the DLCs expected to drop this year. The DLC will cost €12 or $13 and will bring Imola, the Lamborghini SC63 and the Peugeot 9X8 2024, while the Season Pass will cost €47 or $50, and in total all the DLCs, or the Season Pass, whichever you prefer, will bring, and I quote, 4 new hypercars, 4 iconic circuits and 7 of the closely matched GT3 cars. It seems there's a total of 4 DLCs planned, which, if my maths are not wrong, and expecting all DLCs to cost the same, which is not based on any information we have, means all 4 2024 DLCs would cost $48.52 side by side, while the Season Pass costs, as we said, $47.50. On the other hand, Motorsport Games are saying the Season Pass is going to have you pay 25% less than buying the DLCs one by one. So either my maths are wrong, their maths are wrong, or the DLCs will have different prices, at least one of them, which is the most likely explanation. Continuing with maths, Le Mans Ultimate costs €30 or $33. Add to that the price of the Season Pass, and that makes €77 or $83 for a sim that is in early access with the 2023 and 2024 seasons of the WEC. In our opinion, these are AAA game prices, which Le Mans Ultimate is not. Sure, Motorsport Games wants to survive, and sure, rFactor 2's DLC prices have shown they have no shame siphoning tons of money from their fans, although they're not as bad as iRacing, but that's a low bar to pass. But maybe we are missing something here? Is Le Mans Ultimate worth about €80 for you? Let us know in the comments, because we're a bit baffled about these prices. Besides the DLC and Season Pass, Motorsport Games are going to also drop free content, which will be 2 not further specified GT3 cars. Not further specified is also the date they are going to release that content. After a couple of weeks in beta test, Expeditions have at last published their co-op implementation, which will let up to 4 players work together solving the tasks. That is, if you find anybody playing, as player numbers for this game are dropping fast. But maybe co-op will change that. This co-op mode is only for PC players. Co-op on consoles will have to wait until later this year for reasons undisclosed. Guests won't be able to choose specialists or the region and won't be able to build bases. They will be able to choose one vehicle, use bases and play content the host has bought even if they don't own it themselves. Altogether, they will be able to complete any tasks in the map, exchange resources and vehicles, and receive joint rewards in the form of upgrades and money. What they don't say is if the experience will also be shared with maps opening up when I do the map of one of my buddies, or if it's going to be like in SnowRunner where only the host gets awarded map and task completion. For the two of you still playing EA Sports WRC, they just dropped an update raising the version number to a kinda around 1.9.0. It includes adding anti-cheat on PC, which may be the reason WRC is slow and wonky on your system as opposed to before when it was only slow. They have also done some nondescript preparatory work on esports and corrected some bugs with their implementation of VR. There's also been some fixing around in the career, the audio, the clubs and as always the locations. Anything else we leave to your avid reading of the detail notes following the link in a description. And yet another update from iRacing. This is patch 3 of the 3rd season, bringing better AI in the wet as well as their overall pit strategies, doing a lot of repairs of glass, graphics and the damage model, and doing some repairs on the tracks. After 7 months of almost complete radio silence, Straight4 reappeared into the scene to tell us they have a different publisher now for their sim and that their sim is changing its name. Of course, this being Ian Bell, the amount of marketing BS would have P.D. Barnum blush, but let's delve into the news, shall we? The sim is now going to be called Project Moto Racing and the new publisher is going to be Giants, who already published the pinnacle of sim racing, Farming Simulator. Jokes aside, Giants has of course a lot of contacts in the industry, including in the console world, and they know how to publish what for all intents and purposes is an indie game, being an indie themselves. They may be a better partner than Plaion for all intents and purposes. And the esports competitions on Farming Simulator are fierce and have been going on for years. So there's that. Now, we are not kidding when we talk about marketing BS, because what the bleep is this sentence supposed to mean? Those who are familiar with Giants' best-selling franchise will recognize why this partnership is going to refresh the sim racing genre in ways that the community is going to love. Lawnmower racing? Industrial harvester racing like in Wreckfest? Whoever wrote that sentence needs to either take more or less of his or her medicine. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. And while they talk big about some kind of early access while giving zero details and talk about a release date without giving one, what they are not talking about is the crowdfunding that according to their plans would have started in spring of this year. Not one word, not one peep, nothing. And this is Ian Bell, as we have known him for about 20 years. Big talk, lots of vaporware, and at the end, okay-ish results. And I say this as someone who bought Project Cars 1 and Project Cars 2 on day 1. Project Cars 3 never existed. Nope, no, never. Ever. One thing we know, especially thanks to an extensive interview by our colleagues over at Traxion, see the link in the description, is that they've changed the game engine once more, moving away from the Unreal Engine but not saying what the new engine is. And if it's Godot like Marcel Offerman's project, that would be a funny coincidence. And because of that fundamental change, the sim won't be coming out this year, which is quite understandable. And for sure, one thing that is impressive is that once Ian called, most of his old team came back to Straight4, which seems to speak at least in favor of his quality as a team mover, and that's not nothing. Should Straight4 offer more than marketing blah blah in the future, we'll tell you about it, but don't expect us to do what some other websites and channels out there do and comment on every tweet and every passing of gas from Ian Bell.